Let's set up a Python development environment in Linux, in this case Ubuntu. And this is Jellyfish. Let's just check our version real quick. Alright, so 22.4, and get a little more info here. So Ubuntu 22.4.2, long-term support, Jammy Jellyfish is what we'll be setting up in.
1. Install Google Chrome. Of course, this is completely optional.
And the first thing I want to do, I'm just going to install Chrome real quick, just because I need it. Okay. And I'm going to choose 64-bit Debian. Okay. And there it is as a package. And okay. So there she is. And okay. And there's Chrome. And I'm going to add it to my favorites just so I can use it. And there we go. Okay, so I have Chrome. Okay.
2. Download a flavor of Python. In our case, this will be Anaconda and Python version 3.10.
Now, the first thing we're going to need is some flavor of Python. And one of my favorites, and actually I kind of got this from my supervisor because that was his favorite, is Anaconda. And the current uh, version that you'll get if you install the latest, greatest Anaconda is Python 3.10. So let's go ahead to their website, and you could just go to Google and you can uh, go to their site, anaconda.com, or just type in, just make sure you go to the reputable website, of course. But all right, so here's anaconda.com, Anaconda distributions, and I want to grab the one for Linux, and I'm not too keen on cookies, but let's go to download here, and we're going to grab this, the script, the shell script. And you can code with Anaconda in the cloud, and we'll maybe do another series of videos where we sign up for that. But this, since we're setting up a local development environment in Windows 11 and in Ubuntu 22, we're going to skip that for now. Oh, all right, I'll accept your horrible cookies. And we're just downloading here. Pretty good sized package there. Is that a fact? Okay, so now we've got our package. Now that we've downloaded the package we want, let's open the terminal again. And it's in downloads. And all right, and it's a bash script. So tilde, and we'll use an absolute path relative to our home directory, that is. And what's the current version? I'm just gonna copy and paste here if I can get it clean. All right. Okay, welcome to Anaconda. Press enter to continue. Yada yada yada. I'm gonna hit the spacebar and use less to go through all this. Do you accept the terms? Yes, I do. Okay, or specify a different location. We'll go with the defaults. And installing Anaconda is going to install the, Python. This version will be Python 3.10, but we'll verify all those things when the installation's done. Do you wish the installer to initiate Anaconda by running conda init? I don't think I have permission, but it won't hurt anything. I'll say yes. All right. Thank you for installing Anaconda 3. Okay, so let's just check and make sure. Let's see what version we have with this version of Anaconda. What flavor of Python that we have. So our flavor of Python that Anaconda installed was 3.10.6. Okay. We can do Python 3. We can also do Python 3.10 to access the command parameters in this case. So same thing. So flavor 3.10.6. Okay, so we have Python.
3. Install pip for Python module management.
Now, one of the things you're going to need for these projects is pip. Pip is a wonderful tool. Think of it as a package manager that works with Python modules, kind of like the way that apt or apt-get works, and with packages in Ubuntu and Linux, deb packages and things like that. So to get it, if you don't have curl installed, go ahead and snap in curl. Snap install curl. Okay. Am I not? Oh, my caps lock is on. Durr. And then once we get curl, we're going to curl in pip. I'm going to silence my phone. Sorry, somebody's blowing my phone up with messaging today. Let's see if I can go quiet here. Okay, now you'll just hear the annoying vibration. So now we've got curl, and now we want to grab pip. So curl dash s, lowercase s, capital S, https bootstrap dot pypa dot io and get pip py, get dash pip dot py, and then our version, which is Python 3.10, right? We already checked that. Python 3.10. That's the version of pip that we want. And here comes our pip package. Yay! So we've got pip now. Now let's check and see the version of pip that we have. So that'll be Python 3-m for the module, pip, and let's check the version. Okay, good. That's good, what we need for Python 3.10. Okay, we're going to use pip later because I'm going to have you install PlaySound, which is a nice module we'll be using in several of these projects that can play WAV files and MP3s, and it's just really cool because of its simplicity and ease of use.
4. Download and install Visual Studio Code to use as an integrated development environment, otherwise known as an IDE, for Python.
But now we need to get, now that we have again Anaconda, now that we have Python, now that we have pip, we need to get Visual Studio Code, which is our integrated development environment, or IDE. So we'll, again, download Visual Studio Code. Let's go to Visual Studio Code's page. We want the power of the penguin, Linux, and we want, let's do 64-bit, and we'll pick a Debian package for our download. Okay, and now we have our Visual Studio Code. Yay! Let's open up a terminal. And again, let's go to Downloads. And there it is, code 1762, yeah. That's what we want to install. So let's see. Sudo apt install. And let's grab our code. Just copy and paste here into the terminal. Hopefully I got that right. Ask for my password. And we'll download Visual Studio Code, which is a really cool, powerful code editor, not just for Python, but for other languages too. It's up there with NetBeans in terms of some of my favorite code editors. All right. So let's make sure we've got it. There it is. And we'll pin it to our favorites so it's easy access. All right. So we've got Visual Studio Code, and just because this is going to be our development environment, we're going to be using Visual Studio Code with Anaconda and with Python so frequently, it'd be nice to make a shortcut for it on the desktop. And I don't know why they don't make it as easy in Ubuntu as it is in Windows to create a shortcut, but I mean, it's not that difficult, but it requires using the terminal and Nautilus. I guess there are other ways, but I think the easiest way would just be to use Nautilus. Um, let me think now. Where have we installed? Probably be in user share applications. Don't really need sudo, but user share are several different places, snap packages, depending on what you access, but we want to use Nautilus, which is sort of a graphical file manager. And what we're looking for is code desktop. And let me change this to show hidden files. And hidden files, and there we go. Okay. But we want this, so we want to copy it. And we're going to copy and paste. Let's try that again. There it is. Now it's on the desktop. All right, so there's our shortcut is on the desktop. And we can exit out of our terminal for now. We don't need that anymore. But in order for it to run as a safety feature, when you add something like that to your desktop, it's locked. It won't be allowed to launch. So you need to right click on it and then select this option here, allow launching. Notice how the icon changed. And so now we can use that to open our Visual Studio Code. Okay. And here is our welcome page. Now, when you create a new file in Visual Studio Code, since it can be used for so many different languages, it doesn't know you're doing Python. So we want to tell it that we're developing with Python. So our first file is just going to be a plain old text file, but it won't be color coded or anything. So watch, like normally a comment would be color coded in green, but well, this will be our Hello World app. But see, it's not any type of color coding there. So uh, an easy way to tell the IDE, Visual Studio Code, that you're developing in Python, let's do save as, and then in this case, instead of all files, see here, look at all the different languages that Visual Studio Code can develop in. Huge number of languages, right? So when you create a new Python project for each of these projects, you'll be creating a new text file. You want to make sure first that you save it as, uh, save it as a .py file, an empty Python file. And just to make the name of my Python script more compatible, I'm going to do that, and then .py. And you know what? I'm going to make a subdirectory here called code, and we'll save it in there. Okay. Now, once I do that, see down here where it says, do you want to install the recommended extensions for Python? Yes, we do. You only have to do this once when you first set up Visual Studio Code. But yeah, you want to install the Python extensions. Let it do that. I feel like we should be listening to Jeopardy theme music. And depending on the speed of your system and the operating system, whether it's Windows or Linux, it could take a while. But give Visual Studio time to set up those extensions and install any required modules that it needs. Okay, so it looks like we've got everything set up now. So I'm going to close this and give myself a bit more screen real estate over here. Close this and close this. And let's see. We can adjust the appearance, what we want. And I like to have the maximum amount of space for coding. But let's go ahead and do our kind of, it's traditional to do your Hello World app, right? So print, which is just a basic function to display output to the console. And we'll do Hello World. How about that? Okay. So I can hit F5, or I can go up here and click Run and click on Start Debugging to run my script. Either way. All right. So hit F5 or click Run and Debugging, and then Python file debug the currently active Python file. Yes, that's what we want to do. I'm going to drag this over here again because I like the maximum real estate. See, so here's what happened. Hello world. And let's just add a line before and a line after. And we'll run it again. This time I'm going to hit F5. And after you've run it the first time, then you can just hit F5, and so that way you can, rapidly modify your code and test it. and you only have to hit the F5 button. But there it is, hello world. So that's our traditional app, so to speak.
5. Use pip to install Python's PlaySound module. Be sure to specify version 1.2.2.
And we want to do one more thing, all right? I'm going to save my project, close Visual Studio, going to open a terminal again. And remember I said we were going to be using PlaySound, which is a great module that you can use to play MP3 files and WAV files. We'll be using it in several projects just to add a little bit of multimedia, some sound, some fun to our projects. But you don't want to grab the latest and greatest because I've had too many issues with it, a lot of bugs. The stable version is what you want to install, and that's 1.2.2. So to grab it, just Python 3.10, okay, M module, we want to access the pip module to manage modules, and then play sound and evaluates to, we're going to specify a version 1.2.2, okay? And pip will download and install the PlaySound module. And now in your projects in the future, as we develop and go through them, you'll have a module there to allow you to play MP3s and WAV files. And we can have a lot of fun with that. And that's it. That's now you have a basic environment set up and ready to go to start coding in Python.